I'm at your service, sir.
I'm here to find out about the poachers gang, and I need to ask a few questions.
Well, ask away.
I heard you were yelling in the tavern that you were off to hunt some venison.
Look here. I don't know who you are, but you should...
I will, don't you worry.
What? Nothing. It was just the beer talking. I got pissed and...
Maybe not. Blacksmith Betty saw people feasting in the woods, and she says there was a nice smell of venison.
Nothing.
And I don't suppose you'll tell me who was?
No.
That'll do me. I hear there's been trouble with poach.
I don't have time to talk to strangers. God be with you. Good luck then.
Good evening.
I'd like to ask you about Hanekin.
I'm sorry, but I really...
The thing is, every time I spoke to someone about Hare, they always ended up talking about you.
But I don't.
You aren't to blame for anything, is that it? Well, I am willing to believe you, but you do know more than you're telling, and I need to hear it.
Very well. You're right.
How were things between you and Hare back then?
There was nothing between us. Hanekin Hare impressed my father with all his talk of noble blood. But I couldn't stand him, and I didn't want to marry him. And then it made no odds after he ran away.
So you didn't want it? I only asked because I've heard differently.
That's village talk. Of course folk gossip. Mostly they just want to hurt Nicholas.
Did Hare really commit the murder?
God in heaven, how should I know? Anyway,
That remains to be seen. What did you talk about in the woods with Hanekin Hare?
I see Betty's mouth's been bit.
Don't blame her.
Oh, all right. Well, it seems Hanekin Hare's...
And what about you?
What do you mean? I was...
Is that all he told you?
He said if I change my mind, I'm to hang a guard...
Where was it you saw him exactly?
I wish I could tell you. The whole thing was like a fever dream. I almost got lost trying to get out of the forest.
I want you to hang that garland on the lodge.
But I don't want to go anywhere.
You don't have to go anywhere. But tell me, where's that secret meeting?
On the way to Ujits. Back then, we used to meet by the great big beach.
And what time will he be waiting?
At dawn.
Never you mind. The main thing is it will all get sorted out.
I suppose so.
That'll be everything.
God be with you.
Well, there's one thing about this game. It's supposedly, I mean, okay, it's not a British game, all right. It's not. It's Eastern Europe. I think it's about Czechs, I think, of Hungary, and Poland. So those don't really, they didn't speak English, okay. So I suppose this game did come out with respective voiceover. I mean, in Czech and Hungarian and in Polish. So maybe in those languages it did have this. But the thing is, it doesn't really use, that old English language. There are a few words that seem strange nowadays here and there, but mostly these peasants, they talk like they're fucking high lords. They use high English, not even a Cockney or something like that. There's no accent, basically. And this guy, Henry, who's also a peasant, he has a small accent. I think it's Irish maybe or Scottish. I'm not an expert, but I think he has an accent. But it's not a Cockney, not a low English or something like that. Not in any way. So it's not really good the way I see it. I mean, I don't speak Hungarian or Czech. I don't know how is it in those versions of the game, but in English version, it's not really that good. There's no need to. There's no need for them for the characters to speak like in that low English all the fucking time, but there still has to be an impression. There has to be a difference between a peasant and the lord, and I don't see it in this game. Peasants speak exactly in the same way as lords do. Even though, reading and writing was a privilege of the church and the nobles, peasants simply didn't know how to read or write. There were no schools. The only education they had in the church. That's it. The nobles could afford some clocks to teach them and shit. But universities, I think they appeared later. And the church, I mean, the things they read, they were in Latin mostly. The national language, like Hungarian or English, it wasn't for the books. That's for the common folk. Latin was the language of the church. Yeah. Well, I'm sure they had their reasons for doing this. I mean, there are only so many nobles in this game, so much more peasants. So you can't possibly, you know, use that peasantry language for the majority of dialogues. I mean, you can compare this one, for example, you can compare it to um, like another folklore-based game. This game is kind of like, it's not a folklore, but you know, it's close to it. So you can compare it to the Black Book, the game about Slavic folklore, and that game has a lot of like Russian words in it, which are old and are no longer used in modern day speech. You know, it's filled with these words. I can't say the same about this game. There are a few words here and there, but other than that, the speech is pretty much the same as it is today. And that's with all the realism that this game tries to imitate. I suppose it's the part of the problem is that it's not a British game. Um, it's not about England or Scotland. It's about the Eastern Europe, you know, and they have their own language and their own words and shit. And it was written not by an Englishman, but the guy is Czech, I think, or I don't really know. So yeah, that's part of the problem. But it's not a problem, it's just how it is.
I'm guessing Nicholas won't be joining us. Who the devil are you?
I thought you wanted to meet up with Margaret.
Fortunately, I'm not that much of a fool anymore. I was hoping I'd tempt Nicholas out of his lair. But let's get to the point. Who are you? And what are you doing here?
My name is Henry, and I work for the Master Huntsman.
So are you going to arrest me?
I am.
All I ask is that you listen to me first.
Why should I listen to you?
Because if you care about justice, you're after the wrong man.
Anyone can say that.
And that's precisely why the accused should get a proper hearing.
Just look at this guy. He's a fucking peasant, and he speaks like he's a lawyer from the, I don't know, California judgment system, or whatever the fuck. How is that? Okay.
Let me guess. You're going to tell me you're innocent.
I wouldn't presume. I've been poaching on the Divish estate, and I'll take the punishment I deserve. But the crime I was nearly strung up for, that one I didn't commit.
I've no idea what you're talking about.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Hanekin Hare of Zalush.
The nobleman?
I used to be. My house became sadly impoverished, and I became the master huntsman at Talmberg.
Gamekeeper turned poacher. I see. That's quite a transformation.
Nicholas gave me no choice.
Okay, so he's a former nobleman, so that explains things. But anyway,
What happened to your family?
My father lost his influential friends and the money with them. After his death, I inherited only his debts. There was nothing for it but to sell off all our possessions, see to my sister's welfare, and manage as best I could.
That sounds a rough deal.
Believe it or not, I never cared for the life of a nobleman.
What happened between you and Nicholas?
I was falsely accused of murder. Henry of Lipa visited Talmberg, and then...
And didn't they have any cause to suspect?
That's just it, they did. At the banquet, I got into a fight with...
I know Sir Hanish of Lipa. Was Sir Henry his father?
Indeed. He was on his way to Ratai to take charge of the fiefdom for young Sir Hans Capon.
Why did you get into a fight with him?
The fall of the House of Zalush was the work of the Lords of Lipa, and that fellow took great delight in reminding me of it.
And then what?
Nicholas began to pull strings. Several people came forward as witnesses to say
Why would he have done that?
he wanted rid of me. We were both in love with the same lass, you see, and Margaret is his wife today. But back then there was no question which of the two of us would win her. I was the huntsman of noble blood.
Do you know who did kill the man?
No, he was found in a ditch with his neck broken.
And that never occurred to him?
It did. But some people swore they'd seen us jostling on the drawbridge.
What did Margaret think of you?
She took me for a fool. She only had eyes for Nicholas, but I didn't see it then. In the end, she could have said...
How?
She could have told the truth. After the banquet, I was with her.
How did you get out of it?
What leads you to imagine I did?
Your head's still on your shoulders, so you must have escaped somehow.
I'm alive. But my name and my family's name has been dragged through the mud. For me, that's worse than the sentence waiting for me.
If you say so. But you still managed to get away.
Well, it's true. I had the good fortune to escape from the dungeon.
An interesting story.
I can't complain of boredom. The question is, will anyone believe me?
And how did it happen?
It's a long story.
I've got time to listen.
All right. But for you to understand, I have to start... My house
Gamekeeper.
Nicholas gave me...
What happened between...
I was falsely accused of murder.
And didn't they have a...
That's...
I think I've heard it. Even if I believed you, there's no proof. It all happened a long time ago.
I know. But if I didn't believe in my own innocence, I'd have to be crazy to have done what I did.
Why?
If I truly were guilty, why would I risk coming back to Bohemia? I could have died in peace as a rich man in the pay of the Jagiellonians. Only a fool would come back.
Nicholas took everything you had, regardless of your guilt or innocence. I'd say you have more than enough cause to want revenge.
I'm not like him. Anyway, you're right. I don't have any proof of my innocence.
Nah, words are cheap. You're coming with me.
Then I'm afraid you don't give me any choice.
Gone weak at the knees, have you? Come here, Lily Liver. I'll chop you to pieces, you rat. No! You're going to cry now? Yeah, man! That's it. Gone weak at the knees, have you? Here! Fucking hell!
Look what I've got for you. You'll love this.
There's the good dog. That's my boy.
I got Hare.
And where is he?
I last saw him lying down.
Are you saying you...
There was no other way. I'm just glad I got out in one piece.
Ah, well, I'd rather have had him alive, but I can't be sure it was really Hare, unless you have some...
I have it here.
It's his, all right. Hard to believe that... Anyway, I do know how to show my gratitude. Here's your reward, and stop by any time you need to. You'll always find work here.
Thanks.
What are you doing here?
Good. Thief! Thief!
Sick?
You won't get away with it! What's going on there? Thief! Thief! I wipe my ass with you! You showed him. Thank you, that thieving magpie. Ahem. And just so you know, I'm no pinch.
Thanks.
Well, there's possibly not possible to find a bed, not even a bed, just something to lay down upon. Maybe hotel is closed and uh,
Looking for something around here? What in the... Hey!
Yeah!
Jesus, what have you been up to?
About your brawl with Elias.
With Elias? Talk to Fritz.
Are you happy here?
It's not worth a damn. If I had any choice, you wouldn't see my heels for dust.
Well, what's happened? Did you two get yourselves in...
What a fine friend you are, assuming it's our own bloody fault.
Oh, come on. You know what you two are like.
Well, perhaps with that monk. But now, the foreman's got it in for us. If he could...
Always forcing you to work, is he?
If only. That wouldn't be so awful. But nothing we do is good enough for him. There's always some reason for him to yell at us.
I can imagine.
You know what it's like. We do too little, and it takes us too long, and what we eat's worth more than the work we've done, and it's no fun listening to that sort of shit day after day.
And the miller won't stick up for you. I would have thought all the yelling would drive him mad.
Not really. He trusts that loudmouth bastard more than us. He's got us down for a pair of parasites.
I see.
What's so stupid is the mill really needs us. They haven't had any hands here for quite a while, and the mill needs a lot of fixing. But with them around, we can't even get...
And you definitely don't...
I've already told you once, he's an arsehole. I'd say there's nothing we can do about it. If he wants...
Have you tried talking with him?
What do you think? But that just sets him off. He starts saying we're practically bandits, and what he's going to do about it. That gets...
And what do you want to do about it? Just run away?
Actually, I'd like to stay here, at least for a bit. I never would have thought I'd like working in a mill, but not with him around.
Me? Do you think they'll listen to me?
They did once already, didn't they? They hired us because of you. You could have another word with them.
Back then, making promises was enough. Now, it will be worse.
You can forget about the miller. It's Thomas you need to convince. The miller takes his opinion seriously. So, will you do it for us? Again?
Fine.
I'm glad. But try not to get...
I'll keep that in mind. I'd like you to teach...
Certainly.
I'd like to hone my...
First you have to have some skill.
Well...
God be with you.
Hey, how'd you get so fucked up?
Matthew told me your foreman's a fool, and you're not exactly filled with Christian love for him.
You better believe it. I'd like to pay him back for everything, and drown him in the river.
Drown him? What's he done to you?
It was the first or the second day here. We had a disagreement, and I told him off. And then, all of a sudden, we're fighting, and that fucker just throws me in the river. I nearly drowned.
Well, how did you get out? I thought you couldn't swim.
I can't. They pulled me out. I was up to my waist in water.
I see. Well, I'd be pretty fucking angry too.
Exactly. I don't give a shit about anything around here, but that bastard's in need of a good trouncing.
I spoke with him briefly, and he doesn't seem...
Then you ought to try working with him. He's a sneaky bastard. And arrogant. You should see how he puffs himself up when he's off to play dice with Lawrence.
Who's Lawrence?
Aye, but at the neighbouring mill. They call him the Wren. Damned if I know why. Thomas goes there to play dice with him.
What about the others at the mill? Are they awful as well?
The miller's an old fool. He believes every word that comes out of Thomas's mouth. It's hopeless. And then there's the miller's daughter. She's a pretty lass, and kind with it. And what can she do? Nothing. Not that he's...
Do you think he's jealous? Is she a sweetheart?
He might make puppy dog eyes at her, but most of the time he just struts about like a peacock. I really don't think she...
And what do you want to do about it? Do you think you can come to an agreement?
No fucking chance. Matthew hopes so because he likes it here. It's true the work's...
So how do you plan on dealing with it? Leaving?
Perhaps. But first, I want to give Thomas a proper...
And you think that will help?
Maybe. Maybe it'll knock some sense into that fat head of his.
That...
So why don't you arrange a fight with him? If we win...
What?
We could lure him off someplace far away and then wait for him. Maybe to play dice with Lawrence. He would have to go through the dark woods.
I'll think about it. About your brawl with Elias.
How the fuck do you know?
Your best friend settled the matter.
We won't forget this. On my honor. Thanks. God be with you.
I'm honored that a knight such as you...
So what do you think about the workers I brought you?
If I hadn't put in a good word for them, the miller would have thrown them out by now.
I heard them say something else.
So they're complaining, are they? I provide for them, and all they do is slack off.
Isn't it the miller who provides for them?
He can't manage the work anymore. If it weren't for me, there'd be nothing left standing around here.
But you need the help anyway, and they're pretty handy.
Maybe, but they're in no danger of overworking themselves. They act like they're too good for them.
Nothing strange about that. She's a pretty girl.
It's not marriage they've got on their minds. They'd have their way with her, then before her belly started to grow, they...
Look, we can reach an agreement. You need the mill fixed, they need the money. If they have peace to do their work, they'll be able to finish it faster.
But...
And then they'll take their groschen and leave. The mines will open again, and the faster they get their money, the quicker they'll be gone.
But do you really think I can trust them to do it? Will they do their work and leave? And leave Jane alone in the meantime?
This is what I think. This whole deal with his friends, you can go the evil way and you can go the good way, and in the end your friends can be evil or good depending on the choices you make. That's how I see it. That's my guess. I don't know. We'll see.
Of course. They're not interested in the mill. They just need the coin to pay their debts. Once they've got enough, they'll have no reason.
I never thought we could sort it out this way.
I've known them for a long time, and you can rely on them when it comes to this.
All right. If they keep their part of the bargain, I'll even give them a few extra groschen. But woe betide them if they don't. God be with you.
Jesus, what have you been up?
It took some doing, but I made a deal with him.
I'm glad to hear it.
He'll leave you alone, but there are conditions. Once you finish your job, you'll vanish from here. But you'll get an extra groschen or two.
And that's it? I thought... Never mind.
Oh, and you're to stop dallying with the miller's daughter. Keep on mucking about with her.
The fucking bastard. He can go fuck himself. He'd better give us enough groschen to make it worth it. But I suppose I should thank you. You may have bought a...
I'd like to ask... I'd never have guessed he's like that.
Well, get a job here as a hand and you'll...
And what does he do during the day?
Good one. He keeps his eye on everything, but his hand only touches the saw when the miller shows up.
Why?
The last time he did anything, he almost took his thumb off with a chisel. I wouldn't put an axe in those paws of his either.
So, he's clumsy and arrogant.
Aye, but at least you could sneak away from old Nimoy for a bit. Goodbye.
Jesus Christ be praised.
I'd like to try chumps.
Of course. Ah, one more chump. So how much will you bet?
No half measures.
That's the betting over with. God be with you. And now.
Almost had it.
Damn, missed.
Almost had it. The wind took it. Hit home.
Damn, missed.
Got it.
Another on target.
Almost had it.
Almost had it.
Damn it! Missed.
So, how did it go?
Well done, Henry. You've come first. It looks like you really do know.
I'd like to try...
Of course. Ah, one. So how much will you...
No half, mate.
That's the betting. God be with you. And now.
What? Bloody hell, the wind took it. Got it! Another on target.
Hit!
Damn, missed.
Got it!
Damn, missed.
Almost had it.
Another on target.
Hit home.
Bloody hell, the wind took it. Damn, missed. Got it!
Oh, well, I won't miss the next one.
Hit!
Another on target.
Bloody hell, the wind took it. Got it! Damn, missed. Another on target.
Hit home.
Why no crossbows, by the way? It's like 15th century. Crossbows were widespread.
So, how...
Well done, Henry. May the Lord watch over you.
Good God!
Is there somewhere I could...
Certainly. For how long?
Just the one night?
Sure, but
Here you go.
you've got it all.
Where do I go?
That's easy. As soon as you go indoors, at the end of the room on the left, there's a door leading to the chamber. Goodbye. Jesus Christ, you're...
Look what I've got. You'll love this. Good fella. That's my boy.